I'll say 1, 2, 3, and then I'll edit all this out. 1, 2. Welcome to the Fish Files podcast. Officially episode 14 over the last 3 years, but more officially, unofficially, the last episode for 2024. With my guest, Soheil.
Soheil from Imperial Legal.
Thank you very much for joining us, Soheil, today. You're not here as a lawyer today, you're just here as a mate. We're going to shoot the breeze.
That's right. We just
Our last podcast, we went into a little bit more specifics, but we're going to keep this one casual. Today is officially Sunday, December 29th, 2 days before New Year's Eve here in Sydney.
Going out with the bang.
Yep, so we
Wrapping
thought
up 2014.
a good podcast just to,
for our lovely audience, wrap up the year, talk about some of the events for 2025, and see how we go.
I didn't bring my water, did you? No?
I don't have my water either. I guess coffee will have to do.
Yeah, I guess so. Alrighty, salute.
Feels like I'm back at uni with my little notepad and just taking notes.
We did say last time you're going to bring your pad, so
I did
talk. All right. So today, the purpose of today is just to get comfortable, getting back on the camera, doing the podcast. So we make this on a more regular basis, twice a week. New Year. Just want to say congrats on the year. You killed it. You did well.
Thank you.
We share office space, by the way. So I run a direct marketing business and a business coaching / consultation.
And I run a law firm, primarily practicing in commercial litigation, family law and crime. And we do a little bit of property sales and purchases.
So hit us up. We'll give free consults. Initially, 15 minutes. We'll give you guys a bit of direction on what we do or what you could do yourself, even if you didn't engage in our services, to help your betterment of your life and current situation, either through business, marketing, or the law, which covers so many aspects.
You always need a lawyer and a good marketer, especially if you're in business.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you got the 2-in-1 here at Macquarie Park. So definitely get in contact with us.
But today is all about Fish Files. We just want to shoot the breeze, see how we go. And if this podcast goes well, do more regular basis and so hopefully grow a good customer base. At the end of the day, in that last video, we said our disclaimer that we're not trying to, advise anyone of anything. Everything
unless it's life related. It's just not legal advice, financial advice,
or business advice of any kind. It's not even life advice. It's just two men shooting
a little bit of life advice about love.
Well, they can learn. I think the point is it's educational and entertaining. Well, nothing advice.
That's true. We're not here to advise you. We are here to share our experiences, our world views, and just explore. You take from it what you will. If it influences you, if it opens your mind to think about things differently, I guess that's the aim, right? We're not here to say that we are necessarily right or correct or more right or correct than anybody else. It's just the sharing of ideas
and opinions. More important than anything.
Yeah. So
let's do this thing. Thanks for joining us. The funny thing is I probably won't even upload this and no one's going to see. We're just talking to ourselves. Let's just
what we will do when we're so busy that we can't file any new content. We'll just put the drafts like they do on TikTok and just like
bloopers or something.
Yeah, and just put it up and then we can do a little mini bloopers of every podcast we've done. Yeah, exactly. So any content is good content, right?
Oh wow. In the background, it's almost.
If you guys could see, it's a nice sunset.
Clouds look awesome. We actually went on a mad hike just down the road from our office. We're right on the cusp. Literally, actually, we're in the middle of Lane Cove National Park because all this has been cut.
Because it backs out into the middle of the park.
It goes that way, this way, that way. So we're literally right in the middle of it. Obviously, industrialization.
I might even take the audience for a little stroll one of these days.
Yeah, we should actually. Yeah, get a GoPro or something. Yeah. I got one of those 4K cameras that doesn't shake as well. DJI ones, I can bring that. And see if we can hook up the audio. It was just down the road. It was beautiful today. Great spot. The river, national parks. We actually saw a wallaby. We saw an iguana.
A few of them, We almost started commanding an army of little iguanas.
They just started coming up to us. By the way, when we got back, I was outside taking the rubbish out and just went outside to get some sun. And 2 magpies came towards me. And I thought, you know what? We were being positive, talking about what a good year it was, how lucky our office has all this amazing nature. We were vibing and all the animals were coming towards us.
Yep.
Butterflies, different birds, kookaburras, the wallaby, those iguanas, lizards, whatever. Then I saw, I'm being kindly hearted. well intent, positive, and then the fucking ones that prey, the more staunch gangster ones, come at you. One magpie first came, and then another one came, and they kind of started surrounding me and going, brr, brr, coming at me.
Yeah.
And I was just reminded of my childhood, because I used to live out west.
Yeah.
And in Australia, if those that don't know, haven't been to Australia, or you don't live here, I don't know if the kids suffer from this fucking epidemic anymore. But when I was a kid, I couldn't walk pardon my language, I couldn't walk 5 blocks without being attacked by magpies.
Oh, they attack a lot of bicycle riders now. Kids walking to school, but I guess it's been so long for us, you know.
Are they still attacking
easy? Yeah, they prefer easier prey, you know, children and people on bikes.
But we were in the park for 2 hours hiking. We didn't see one there.
No.
So they come on the outskirts where the humans are and try to put it on them. I wonder if the other birds attack the magpies. I don't know much about magpies.
Oh, I think
you know how they. You know how
I don't think we have any birds that would attack him here. Like, you know, you have
daddy longlegs spiders are the most dangerous spiders to other spiders, but they're the weakest to us.
Oh,
I
didn't know that.
This is the stuff you hear when you're little. And back then there wasn't the internet for you to Google and check it.
Double check,
so you just believe it no matter what. So we need to fact check that.
No, it's funny, you know, as we were sitting down in the by the river, and the little iguana started coming up to us, and then there was first 1, 2, 3, and then the big one behind us.
You called that. That was
and crazy. The butterfly. And then what did I say? I said, look, you know, it's amazing how when you go into nature, nature starts coming to you. And I think the magpie was nature going full circle, because there's the beauty of it and there's the dangers of it.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? We were the predators out in nature, although we were being good, and
they were scared of us, all the other.
Yeah. So,
and see what I told you about the
eyes? Universe was just teaching you that, hey, mate, you know, well, it can be beautiful, like the butterfly that we saw, a couple. You can have magpies or birds of prey. I mean, magpies aren't birds of prey.
No, of course, but you could a nuisance.
Yeah. So.
Well, remember we were saying if their eyes are on their side, then they're always the prey, because they're looking
up front
to make sure they're not being attacked and jumped on. If they're at the front, like us humans, we are the
predator.
Predator, yeah. Technically, I mean, we are on top of the.
Well, we are the apex predator.
Yeah, that's for sure. What does apex mean?
Like the top, like the best of the best.
I like that word, apex.
So,
yeah, but point of the story was, if you are just always happy-go-lucky, kind-hearted, there is some negative energy that will cross paths with you and take advantage of you if you don't protect yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, I started making myself big and I said, hey, go away. And then, like a little bitch, I did run back inside the base work. I mean, I was due to come back in anyway.
The magpies want to throw down, you get tag teams.
Imagine if I was there for another 5 minutes and I call you, I'm like, I'm being attacked by magpies. That's funny. Back in the day, you'd get attacked by like a gang. Yeah, everyone's on their phones inside houses. We get attacked by magpies.
What do they call it? A murder, like the group? I think it's a murder of magpies or something.
No way, like flock and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it's something along those lines. It's like, what the hell, you know? And it's so fitting as well for Australian magpies.
Is that what they call it? What do they call them?
A murder, I'm pretty sure.
Nah.
I swear, I don't have my phone. I'm going to Google
this. Do you want me to get my phone?
We should Google it. We'll take it on. We'll
fact
look
check.
It up.
Let's get a nerd to fall in love with our channel straight away, but
and just
a positive
moderate
nerd,
and
not a keyboard warrior, not a negative Nancy kind of fucking Kevin or whatever, Karen or Kevin. Oh, poor things, they ruin those names. But yeah, someone just to fact check out of love for us, and that way it's like we've hired a producer, like a Jamie, Joe Rogan's Jamie.
You know, he just said Karen. I saw a meme on TikTok, a video on TikTok. And this lady was named Karen. She was young, probably like early 30s. And she's like, you know that Luigi Mangione, whatever his name is, the CEO killer in the States. You know the guy that shot the United States Health CEO?
In New York?
Yeah.
I heard vaguely about it.
Yeah, basically this guy, just very briefly, this guy ended up, there was an investor meeting. One of the biggest health insurance companies in the States. And he's walking across from the Hilton hotel to the other hotel to do his little speech. And this guy just walks up behind him, pa.
And they know the guy's name who killed him?
And they finally got him. But what happened was this lady in McDonald's, this old lady in McDonald's that used to work at McDonald's, called in to get the reward. And I forget what her name was.
A reward for
to get information, yeah. And basically she called in. Mind you, she didn't get the reward because you know how we have Triple O and Crime Stoppers.
Yeah.
She's meant to have called Crime Stoppers, which is the hotline, not Triple O. So she called Triple O. They came and arrested him, but they told her to basically.
They should have given them the money.
Yeah.
We should start.
So that's why you never trust the government.
I like how you leap from there to that's why.
No, but that so this lady was like, now, but so many people, it's so funny. They put up a little post about the passing of the CEO.
CEO of what?
The company, the insurance company.
Was he a bad guy or something? Is that what they're trying to say?
Well, the company Facebook page put up like we're so sorry, condolences, blah 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 blah, and it got ratioed. I think it had like 62,000 reactions. Around 60,000 of it was laughing emojis. That's about 2,000 of it was basically sad emojis. And all the comments on all the social media, it's like, I applied for condolences and thoughts and prayers, but I got rejected. My application got rejected, or it wasn't approved, or like, this is not part of the coverage. Because this guy, apparently they're the ones that denied the largest amount of claims. So everybody's laughing that this guy just got basically, murdered. So it's a lot happening in America. There's a society
where people are just getting murdered in the streets for other people that don't like it.
I mean, look, I heard a good argument about it. It's like when the government does it, they can call it necessity. Or they can call it war. They can call it law enforcement. They can call it whatever they want. But then, or when the insurances deny your claim when your doctor has said, yes, you need this treatment, they say no, and the person ends up dying, especially in the States. They don't call that murder. They don't call that they got all these fancy names for it, but taking a life is taking a life. But when the normal person does it, when the general public does it, all of a sudden it's bad. Now, obviously murder is wrong, don't go murdering people, but it's just a philosophical thought that, well, when the government does it, all these corporations do it. Look at all the shit that they do, put in our water, in our environment. Excuse the language.
Be comfortable. But if, like, that's the thing. When companies, I guess I also subscribe to the ideology of free market capitalism, and then there's so many different definitions of that, or ways to regulate that, or officiate that, or permit that, or allow that to thrive, whatever. At the end of the day, you want companies to be able to do what they want. And this whole thing we studied at uni, I went to uni about 20 years ago, and corporate social responsibility. Now they have 100 different names for it, where they pretend that they're doing good stuff. But most of that stuff is consciously, systematically organized and set up channels within their business to proactively go and contribute funds and relief and money in that cause, whether it's Ronald McDonald House or whether it's Woolworths giving to the Woolworths, one of our biggest supermarket chains in Australia, giving money to the farmers during the drought, whatever it is, right? All the different appeals and charities and ways you can give back. That's arranged. However, they get caught out time and time again, sometimes multiple times in a year or a decade.
Yeah.
Which is far too much, doing dodgy shit like that.
Yeah.
Pesticide on the food and the metals all in the sky being sprayed on us, or the stuff in the water. Now, I haven't really had a deep dive in any of them because I'm trying not to live my life where I'm worried about everything and paranoid and I'm trying to fight the system on everything. It's like, choose what you want to be a martyr for.
Choose your battles.
But it definitely is true that private corporation can do whatever they want. And this stuff that we know, forget the private corporation in some shady businesses like arms dealing or weapon manufacturing that specifically and directly are involved in death and destruction. And don't forget about a government that can, with one phone call, go launch a war on another people and just take out tribes and villages and tens of thousands, if not millions of people, through a short period of time or a few year period. And yet, if I get into a fight with someone in the street and I can't provide evidence that they threw the first punch, then I might be a bit more equipped in self-defense martial arts, and I annihilate them because they started a fight with me, and I'm trying to protect people around me, whether it's for more vulnerable friends and family or just myself. then I have to now go for a big legal headache, get a QC, Queen's Counsel, barrister, whatever, spend 30, 40,000, drag out this court case for 12 months just to feel that sigh of relief that a third-party agency that's overlooking everything I do in my life has now said, you are not guilty. And that's the other thing I want you to think about. I'm going to go to the toilet soon because I'm fucking busting. But long story short, I'll pause it and then we'll come back. And we'll get the waters too. Like in this court thing, they say guilty or not guilty, right? I remember studying a little bit of a couple of subjects of law at uni and legal studies at school. The whole point is that's a head fuck on purpose to say, we're not saying you're innocent. We're just saying you ain't guilty.
Yeah.
However, who are they to say I'm guilty? My guilt is my experience to feel. It's an emotion. They've taken an emotion and defined it. I'm going to go pee. You think about that. And if you actually can think now, I won't even pause it. I'll just switch my microphone on mute. I'll never try that and then redo it. Can I restart?
Just pause the.
Talk about the guilt.
No, well, you got to be here so we can.
You feel like you're just talking to yourself.
Yeah. Otherwise,
in a straight jacket.
It's not a discussion.
So many people do individual podcasts. I don't know how I'll do that. That's why I'm G that we do this together. All right. Perfect. So far, we're getting really good momentum.
So basically, guilt. Right. So guilt. Well, what? Yes, guilt is yours to feel, but I think that's just a term that they use. It could be anything, any other term, right? In the sense of guilty versus not guilty.
I know, but words matter,
right? Well, words matter in the sense of, are you guilty or are you innocent? Because if you're guilty and you have, in the sense of you have done a particular act, well, you should feel ashamed and feel guilt for having done, whatever it is, breaching the social contract or the laws or whatever. But in the sense of who are they to judge? Well, they are a jury of your peers. And that's what gives them the right.
There's no more jury of your peers now. It's just juries.
Well, they call it a jury, but the principle is a jury of your peers.
Who picks the jury?
The court, randomly. And you basically
like in the American movies where the defense team gets to pick them.
Yeah, no. So basically, when there's a hearing set, there's a pool of jurors that get sent out letters regularly that say, you've been picked for jury duty. You attend court on the day,
to get out of that.
and you get assigned. And I hate people that try to get out of it because that's the cornerstone of our legal system. And everybody complains about the government. And either way you run, right? Whether you think they're too soft or too harsh or whatever the case may be, that's your one chance to participate fully in the legal system.
I think that's those magpies that we're trying to...
They're coming for you, bro. They're circling like vultures above.
Crow.
I know, I saw it. I saw it.
Beautiful sunset here. So back to what I'm saying. Still, do you think they're trying to tell us we should feel guilty? Because what if you just don't feel guilty?
Well, you should feel guilty.
Look. Not everything is clear cut. Did you do it? Didn't you do it?
No, but that's why you're not...
I gave before, you could have a fight with someone, self-defense, not be able to prove it.
That's why specifically you're not... It's not guilty or innocent, because being proven, having a verdict of not guilty does not mean that you're innocent.
Yeah, I know that.
Right? And even the law says that. So for example, if to become a lawyer, you need to let the Law Society know, well, the Legal Practitioners Admissions Board know if you've been charged with an offense. Not even attend court, not even get a Section 10. When you want to become a lawyer, once you've done your law, law school, you've done your practical legal training, and you're applying to get your license. In your application, you need to let them know of all offenses, charges, Section 10s, so on and so forth. The idea behind it is that if the police have charged you with an offense, your character has gone into disrepute. Because the police aren't going to just randomly come and charge me for armed robbery if there isn't enough evidence to point my direction. Now, it may be that the police withdraw the charge. It may be that I'm found not guilty because lack of evidence, or I win on technicality. That still doesn't mean that I'm innocent or that I'm of a acceptable character, being a fit and proper person. So there is a big distinction between being innocent and being not proven guilty.
So I wrote this down. I like the pad thing. I wrote it down not to interrupt you. I like that you had your little spiel. But,
tell me.
I do love that you're in the system because you're trying to help within the system, and you always have to work within the system to fight the system. I get all that, and I respect that. I'm just trying to be a bit casual here.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should change the name to not guilty and not innocent.
But being not guilty, see, you don't want to.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Don't want
do you
to.
Get what I'm saying?
I do, but you don't want to expressly say not innocent, because then that has the connotation that this person has done, and you don't. The evidence doesn't stack up.
No, you're just we're just manipulating with words. We're rewording it. We're rephrasing it.
Yeah.
So not guilty, we agree that can exist. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that person, we can't send them to prison, or it's not always a prison punishment, but.
What, something like we're not guilty nor innocent? Is that what you mean? Something like that?
No, because that's already implied. Not guilty is for the people that get off.
Yeah.
The people that get done for it should be called not innocent.
Oh, so instead of guilty, have...
I just don't want them telling me I should feel.
But that's the whole point of it. Society expects you to feel guilty for the act that you've done, which is breach the confidence of your peers, of your...
Well, now, you may not feel it. That's too long. I need that in one or two words.
Guilty.
No, because I don't feel the guilt. I just had a self-defense matter with someone. I didn't have deep pockets. I didn't get a good lawyer barrister. I couldn't prove. He claimed that I started it when I know he started it. And God knows he was watching. But if there was some camera and Big Brother was watching, it'd be evident.
But now we're getting into the semantics.
You're talking about the odd occasion where some guy goes on a rampage and rapes and fucking kills 19 fucking young girls in the bushes over a 42-year period.
Hashtag I remember that.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, hashtag someone, right? Anyone, yeah. Any country you're in, I'm sure you have a freak.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that one's a no-brainer. But majority of the cases aren't those high profile.
But think of it like this, right? I just want to segue back into what I was talking about before about the murder of innocent people. With the whole
traffic offense,
with the recent C word, you know, and the C word the C word that
Ovid, that rhymes with Ovid.
Yeah, that Ovid, you know. Look at how many people across the globe have, because of the V that they were forced to take.
Many people.
Has any heads rolled? Has any compensation been given?
People are dying left, right, and center around the world.
So when they do it, when the corporations do it, it's okay. But when you're, you know, and I'm not talking about war can be the only exception.
Are you saying, back to what we spoke about earlier, so corporations and governments can do whatever they want and we cannot do anything?
And they categorize it and
feel guilty about a traffic offense. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Yeah. It should be not guilty and not innocent.
I think there's two separate things. The guilty and not guilty is for society.
Innocent. I did speed. But this whole thing is a sham. I shouldn't lose my license. I drive a lot. I need it. I'm not a contributor to society if you punish me. I'm not innocent.
And that's a concern. That's why.
You like it? That's a proposal.
Your Honor, I'm instructed to submit to the court.
I love this guy. You sometimes take me so seriously, as if like right now, based on my opinion, we can like really do something. I'm not really trying to change it. I'm mucking around. But at the end of the day, I was thinking about it the other day. I thought, the word guilty, you know how we had our court thing? I was thinking about it because, you know, they asked, are you going to put a plea in? I'm like, a plea? What's a plea? That's a plea, eh?
That's exactly what it is, though.
It's like your external societal parents.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I had an experience not too long ago at court.
By the way, I wrote 8 topics we've covered.
Oh, mate.
I love these.
And this was really about why the judges sit up high and magistrates sit up high, and why you refer to them as Your Honor.
Yeah.
The magistrate I was appearing before wanted some material from me. My client had shown up to court. He missed the last court. They arrested him, put him in the cells. Anyway, I was making a bail application for him, and Her Honor was asking me about all these questions and about these documents, and I'm trying to get the documents, right? And she turns around and says, Mr. Kavanagh, look at me when you're speaking to me. And for a split second, I looked up to just show her that I was raised in the hood, but the act of looking up at them, and, you know, because it's an automatic response, Your Honor, and then I was just like, Your Honor, I'm sorry, I was looking for I apologize. I was looking for the documents you'd requested earlier. So
that's the game you have to play.
It's the you know, but at the same time, like she didn't want to let me make my submissions, and I was like, well, Your Honor, I will make the submissions on behalf of my client.
Whether you accept
whether you accept it or not is in you know, a decision for Your Honor.
Out of my hands.
But I will make the submissions.
Tell you don't make the submissions.
She was saying basically, no, I'm not going to give him bail, blah 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 blah. And I was like, okay, but I will make my submissions for the record.
As in, don't cut me off.
As in, yeah, basically, like, because I was trying to make submissions.
As in, hear me out, don't rush me out.
Yeah, because this guy, it was a domestic violence related matter.
Yeah. Are we allowed to talk about this?
Yeah, well, the client's name's unknown. It's just, you know, so there's no identifying.
No. Because sometimes people.
There's no identifying features. Interstate matter.
Client tall or short?
Client, they're brown. I can tell you that much.
Oh, that's racist, bro.
So
to distinguish color with your eyes on skin is racist, bro.
Look. Probably this will definitely get us bad. Jokes. But I don't believe in this whole "don't be racist, don't be this, don't be that." I think there is a difference between races. I think there is a difference between cultures.
Celebrated,
right? Now that doesn't mean that you should, you know, knock one culture for being bad or, you know, sort of isolate them. But I think there are certain cultures which are better in certain aspects than other cultures.
Like those African American athletes.
Right. Persians are known for being the most hospitable people in the world.
A lot of money to watch 70-80% of an NBA team battle another NBA team in a mad playoff round.
Like a Hunger Games style.
No, I just meant with just NBA right now, and them being African American. I'd rather watch that.
What's the reward? Bucket of KFC chicken,
Mexican. You know, and there's some tall Mexicans probably that are good, but no, I wasn't going there. But
I went there.
You know, even like Usain Bolt, the runner, crazy. Yeah. And then you see white man in water. You don't see many Africans win the medals for water. They stay on the land where their bodies go brown, don't they? Anyway.
You don't want me to answer that question.
Long story short, when I was younger, you were only racist if you, I don't know if we covered this on the previous time. Did we talk about this?
We did.
We just said it's a threshold. You're not racist by distinguishing someone's skin color. Hey, look, family over there just left the table. Let's go take that table. That Persian family, that Arab family, whatever it is, Indian family, Mexican family. You're only racist once you disadvantage someone, right? You're not actually being prejudiced against their race. Even racist, the whole word, these East words, I hate them.
Personally, I'm not a racist. I'm a supremacist.
What does that mean? It sounds scary.
So, you know how, like, a racist is like, you're shit, you're this, you're that. I love all races. I love my Asian, my Chinese food. I love Thai. I love Arabic food. I love,
people make that mistake.
I love Latin music. I love Latin women. No. I'm saying I don't mind other races.
The music's
but
good too.
I'm a supremacist in the sense that I think Persians are the top race. I think we are better than everybody else. Now, I don't think everybody else is amazing. You are guys triple A. Persians are triple A plus. So I don't look down on them. I don't say that, you this or you that.
I never thought like that. I'm very proud of our heritage.
Yeah, I just think we are much better. And look, it's arrogant. It's arrogance, right? Because I haven't done anything. I didn't, it's not like Cyrus the Great was my uncle who wrote the first Charter of Human Rights, freed the Jews from Babylon, literature.
So he's to blame, is he?
Right? I'm saying it's arrogance
to blame?
Yes.
For
potentially.
The plight of the Palestinians?
No. Well, yes, because he freed the Jews.
Anyway, we're segueing too much.
Yeah. No, but what I'm saying is, so I'm a supremacist. The point is,
why you're a white supremacist?
I'm not a white supremacist.
Sorry.
I'm a Persian supremacist.
They just stole that word, eh? Anytime I hear the word supremacist,
yeah.
I think it only...
Because it just means thinking better. Right. So, because it was the Aryans who thought they're better than everybody else.
And not just thinking you're better. It's like the name of a famous pizza toppings. Pizza flavor, what do you call it? Pizza choice?
I don't know. Is it a code word you say?
No, it's Supreme.
Oh,
Supreme.
I'm sitting here like that Julia Roberts meme. I'm trying to think what code is this? Yeah.
Hawaiian, Supreme, chickens lovers, whatever, meat lovers. I don't know what else is out there.
Oh, there's plenty out there.
Margarita.
You got to expand your horizon.
That word has been hijacked.
Yeah.
There's a brand, Supreme. Imagine if tomorrow we woke up and all of these guys with the white hoods in the middle
Ku
of
Klux Klan.
Yeah, the country. You know, am I? Oh no, that's Aussies. Imagine if they just started wearing the brand Supreme.
Yeah, I mean, well,
wouldn't that be fitting?
Yeah, well, look, funny how what was that brand? G-Star.
That was so cool when I was younger. Whatever happened? So cool. It was everywhere.
Right, all the ethnics started wearing it, and they literally damaged the brand's reputation because it was just, you know.
However, the same people will now wear Gucci, Prada, LV, maybe even shoes, or a lot of Nikes. Obviously, still cruising around, but the handbags and stuff.
But a lot of them are actually wearing the fake shit. They're not paying the real. They're not actually, because G-Star, you didn't have to buy it fake. It was like
it wasn't cheap though,
but it wasn't expensive. You know what I mean?
It wasn't cheap.
Like half of these Middle Easterns you see walking around with their Louis Vuitton wallets and Louis Vuitton bum bags and this and that. It's all fake.
You reckon?
It's all $30-$40 from Thailand.
You reckon?
Most of them, yeah. You get the ones that are like drug dealing and this and that. Yeah, those ones, yeah. But how many of them are actually drug dealers actually doing it?
Builders and that, they make good money. Some tradesmen, they still live at home with their family. They do a lot of investments when they're younger. They pull their money
what percentage of people of these Middle Easterns?
I don't know. Let's do a survey. That's what I was going to say. If you're down,
the survey is done, mate. We have a Middle Eastern crime squad for a particular reason.
Well, can we interview one of them and them tell us if it's real or
crime
fake?
Squad or the criminals?
No, the crime squad. Can we interview them and ask them, what percentage are they wearing is real?
We could.
I think at least one out of every three. If you see a Rolex, it's not fake. If they got a
no, I think Louis
Vuitton handbags. How much are they going to cost?
A few thousand.
Nah, they're like $800 or something.
Nah, relax. But the wallet's like $800.
Is that real? Their wallets?
Some of them, yeah.
Okay.
But the thing is, what I'm talking about is just these little 18, 19, 20-year-olds. They don't have a job. They don't have when you are Gucci top to bottom and you're wearing a Rolex watch, bro. Like you can't even afford your lunch at school. How are you wearing a? Do you get what I mean? Like you're rocking up to school with a Louis Vuitton, wallet. Your mum and dad didn't buy it for you. That's for damn sure.
So why can't you afford lunch then in this scenario?
No, I'm saying you can barely afford lunch.
But then
because they're coming from low socio.
You're saying it's fake because you can't afford lunch.
Yeah. Like if these guys were out in the eastern suburbs going to King's School, yeah, of course it's going to be all legitimate brands. But these guys driving around in their little, 25-year-old Honda Civic or Corolla, whatever, and there's nothing wrong with it. I started there too, but I wasn't dripping head to toe in designer clothes.
Yeah.
Right, which are basically fake designers.
I've seen someone wear the Gucci Mad. The whole, how you wear the pants and the jacket and that in winter, and those like Yeezys and stuff. I thought they'd be, what do they call it, dripping.
Some of them definitely be dripping, but
should we go through some of these topics?
Let's go
so
quickly.
CBA recently did $3.
Yeah, so I decided I'm going to close.
Tell us about that.
I've decided, some of you guys might have heard on the news, but I've decided myself personally to close all of my CBA, Commonwealth Bank of Australia, accounts because they decided to introduce a $3 fee for you to withdraw money. They wanted to. If you were going to withdraw cash from the in branch. Now, after about 48 or 72 hours of 2 or 3 days of extreme public backlash,
wow,
they backpedaled. Oh no, this is not what we meant. We didn't.
People went nuts on social media comments on their page.
But the audacity, the nerve to try to introduce such a policy, you got to wait. You backpedaled this time.
It's our own money, and going in branch now, you want to charge us to take it out.
And after you posting multi-billions of dollars, multi-billions of dollars in profits in the midst of a cost of living crisis, the fact that you are willing to do that, and if there wasn't such a huge backlash, you would have shoved it down everyone's throats. I don't want the capitalism. The one chance we have is to walk and talk with our wallet.
Yeah, so
put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, so
maybe a bit inconvenient, maybe a bit difficult.
Do it in groups. The more the better.
So anybody that I see, I'm telling them I'm closing my CBA account. Because there needs to be a mass exodus.
Even though they did backpedal, they're not doing it.
But the fact that they wanted to, there was no justification for it. There was, and this is the other thing.
Why do you think they're doing it? We'll talk about it before.
Because the corporation is pushing an agenda.
Yeah, that's right.
They're trying to push their cashless society. They're twofold. First, they're trying to push the agenda. Two, they're trying to close as many branches as they can, so the shareholders can get an extra, bang for their buck, because they're paying less staff, paying less rent.
Yeah.
So they're just trying to basically digitize everything, both digital currency and move everything basically online. Now, I don't mind purely online companies like, for example, my car insurance. I've never had to go into a branch to discuss my car insurance. And I'm pretty sure Budget Direct, for example, is purely online. So they can give you a better deal, yeah, that's fine. But if you're keeping my money, if you're having something that belongs to me, I want to be able to walk in and speak to somebody in person.
That's a good differentiation.
It's a big difference.
Because insurance or whatever else, however else you spend your money, paying your electricity company, you don't need to go to electrical branch and pay them, or go to a real estate, pay your for your landlord if you're renting your home. You can do all that online, but this is your money accumulated.
Yeah,
right?
This is, you have my money, and you want to not have a shop front property to face me. You want to just be able to cut me off, put me on the phone. We apologize for extended delays. We've been experiencing a higher than volume of calls. You've been experiencing a higher than normal volume of calls since 2010. Yeah. Hire more goddamn staff.
Earlier than that, yeah.
Right? So that's why I'm saying I want
making a lot of profit too. It's not like you're barely struggling and you're there for our benefit.
It's just to maximize the shareholder profits, and people suffer for it. So close all the banks. Go open a different bank. Open with a credit union.
Credit unions are much better.
Heritage Bank is a members owned. They don't charge you any fees. That's who I went and open up a couple of accounts with.
Yeah.
They have branches. I know they have one in Castle. That's where I opened it.
Yeah.
But you basically become a member. So
they have no fees.
They have no fees. The interest rate is. I know when I was going to get a loan last year, the personal loan interest rate is more than half of Commonwealth banks. Theirs was 8.5%. Commonwealth was like around 18%.
Wow.
16 to
Was that a business loan or something?
Personal loan.
Okay, personal.
I was just exploring, right? So literally more than half, yeah. So we just gotta be mindful. People gotta check every 6 months or every year. Get a new quote for your car insurance, for your CTP, for your mobile. For your mobile. This is a good segue into TPG.
Before TPG, I did want to say while we're still talking about cash, so we'll come back to TPG. Did you know, like maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, they put a limit? Maybe it was a bit less. Let's say between 3 to 6 years ago, they brought a limit in where you could only now
anti-money laundering,
pay no more than $10,000 cash payment. And someone was like, "Oh, who's carrying that much cash?" Well, back in the day, you would go buy a $25,000 car with cash plenty of times.
And sometimes I don't want the government, I don't want anybody else to be able to track my transactions.
Tell me what to do.
I want to, yes, it's none of your business, none of my neighbor's business, not my mom, not my dad, surely not the government's. Especially what I'm spending my money on.
If you're doing it for profit, then you're going to claim it through your taxes anyway, your business taxes.
I want to burn it. I want to go and burn, or I want to throw it in the river.
Yeah,
it's got nothing to do with you. I don't have to explain to anybody.
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with taxes. So if it's got nothing to do with taxes, it's got nothing to do with you guys. And the debate of tax alone is another big topic.
The money's already been paid. I've already paid tax on it, right?
That's what I mean.
And it's not my concern whether the other person is going to pay tax on it or not. Have it in cash, that's a matter for you, tax on it, right? Yeah, you can do whatever else you need to.
Yeah,
but I shouldn't have to. You can find out if he goes and puts that money in the bank, then you can ask him where he's got it from and what's happened. Yeah. But you shouldn't be able to track my spending. To make sure I'm not being working dodgy stuff. Yeah. But even then, mate, you already pay enough taxes.
Yeah.
Unless I'm running a business, it's none of your goddamn business how I got my money.
I think that even all the toll roads and parking and fines, I think that also pays as part of a tax, because to function in that society, you're going to be bound to make a small percentage of mistakes with fines, and you definitely need the roads for tolls. They were invented before I was born, and you have to pay those. So they add up onto your tax, GST, everything else. So yeah, once they did that $10,000 limit, it was going to be a sliding scale, because people can play this tape back. It's December 29th, 2024. I promise, within a few years, even without anyone even finding out, if it already hasn't happened, and I haven't even
5,000,
they'll change
2,000,
to 8, 7, 5, 2, and before we know it, banks are charging us to use our money in the bank, so oldies don't use it anymore. It affects the senior citizens and people that just want to have that personal accountability or go complain or talk to them. Like you said, they don't want to face you. And then you can't even have cash limits. And now there's a lot of businesses that are cashless.
Yeah.
That just want FPOS.
There was a guy that rammed his car into a Nando's. I think it was in Melbourne.
Really?
Yeah, because they don't accept cash, card payment only. And he'd spray painted on the side of his 4-wheel drive, "We don't accept cash here," and he rammed it into the Nando's just like a week ago.
He
so
must have been
I
pissed
chuckled
off about that.
Yeah. It was a customer from earlier in the day.
Wow.
Because obviously the police come and find out, investigate. So
it'll be interesting to read that case article if it goes to court. And will he be found not guilty or not innocent?
Interesting.
It's starting to take off. I can feel it already. All right. So tell us about Vodafone.
It's a TPG. So there's fuckwits.
No, I said Vodafone. No, I'm kidding. Go on.
They basically, my direct debit payment didn't go through, and I have a separate account for my direct debit payments because I don't like to mingle my cash. But obviously, because of all the public holidays, some entities take the money before, some of them take it after the public holiday. It just depends how they process it. In any event, the payment didn't go through. These guys barred my service after 2 days, after 48 hours, which is absolutely ridiculous. Maybe 7 days, maybe 14 days, send a text message, send an email. Why would you go ahead? And mind you, I've had this service for about 4 months and I've always paid. It's not like it's the first payment and then they're like, "Oh, well, this guy, his first payment, he hasn't made it." So for you guys to just, suspend the service without telling me, that's another thing. So I'm like, "All right, no worries, man. I'm going to drop you guys and I'm going to change to somebody else."
You got to protest, vote with your dollars. And that's the thing. Sometimes I always think about the most vulnerable. What if you were a bit older or you weren't that mobile and able and
single moms, children, you know what I mean? There's a variety of things.
You could go to the neighbor's house or local McDonald's and get Wi-Fi and then access things or ask to borrow a phone. But what if you don't live with anyone or, you're just doing it a bit tough, you don't have petrol in the car or you've had a few drinks and you don't want to drive. There's other various reasons that they make your life.
When they fail to provide a service, we're sorry for the inconvenience, and that's it.
We don't get any compensation,
right? Yeah. But the bill is overdue by 2 days, and the third day you buy the service. Like, mate, you know what I mean?
It's crazy.
So I'm a big believer of basically voting or acting with your feet and your wallet,
100%.
because that's the only way these companies are going to learn.
Yeah, for sure. So look, I had a few other topics on here, which we'll talk about in the new year. Just property market, how Perth and Adelaide's been booming. Sydney and Melbourne has plateaued. Brisbane's going good. Gold Coast isn't going too bad. 20% growth in Perth. Good opportunities next year as well. At least 15% increase for anyone that wants to enter the property market. We're going to talk about the rentals issues. You know how no one now will want to rent an apartment to anyone for more than 12 months?
Yeah.
Did you know about that?
Nah. What's going on? People don't want to rent.
Before, a few years ago, post this massive hyperinflation from COVID, you would talk to the real estate or landlord, but mostly via the real estate. And maybe, let's say you wanted to rent out a 3-bedroom apartment 5 years ago for $800-900, depending on what area, somewhere nice. And then you said, instead of $900, I'll do $850 or $825 or whatever, and I'll sign a 3-year lease, 2-year lease. Well, that gave, you're a young family or something.
Gave you some stability.
That gave you stability and also gave the landlord stability. And it showed them one tenant that's happy and all that, as opposed to every 6 months, 12 months, someone coming and going, wearing the place down, them chasing them up for money. Are they going to damage it? Do I have to keep coming in for repairs? Each time a tenant goes in and out, the landlord pays 1 month of the fee, which is about 7-8%, really. Yeah. Divide that by 12 months, to the real estate, to tenant it for them. So there's that fees, and then between tenants, you might have to touch up the carpet, the walls,
all the costs associated. Right?
Yeah, and then approving the application. You just want it to run in the background. Know that there's good tenants, landlords there. Every year, if there's 1 or 2
minor repairs,
plumbing issues, electric issues, usually quite stable. They're not banging the walls or too much stuff. A little
banging
washer,
on the walls.
change the taps, this and that, maybe, as I said, plumbing issues, not too much, other dishwasher or something. That's it. Got good tenants, it runs in the background. That's how you want to run an investment. But now, you speak to real estate agents and you say, hey, I want to get X price at Y price, save a little bit and do it for 2 years. They will say, no, even 18 months. Reason being, they want you to know, right, that I spoke to a real estate agent and they said, no, it was an Asian lady. She said, no, landlord wants to be able to have option to put up rent next year. So just be aware too, whoever takes property, be mindful. It may and most likely will have rental increase active after 12 months if you wish to stay. I just thought I'd let you know that. And I said, oh, thank you for letting me know that.
Yeah, it's become ridiculous.
Everyone says the same thing. Because everyone wants to put it up. I think there's been some regulations in New South Wales. So now you can only put up the rent once every 12 months. And I'm not sure on the percentage. I might be wrong if our fact checker can
fact check
favorite fan, fact check it. Last time I heard it was 20%. I don't know if that's been reduced now or not.
No, I don't think it would. I don't think 20%. 20% seems too high.
Yeah, probably.
Pretty sure it's like 4 to 6%.
No increase, bro.
Increase, yeah.
Nah, that's nothing. No.
Yeah, but the whole idea,
$700 propies are being put up $100. So
yeah, but they're being put up, but it's not a realistic. The thing is that, and we'll wrap up after this. But the idea is that as an investment property, the tenant isn't meant to cover your entire or the majority of your costs. This is what people think, that they think that my tenant, like a $700 property going up by $100, that property is already being put on the market for $200-300 more than what it's actually necessary.
But there's so many immigrants coming in.
That's when they artificially look at the number of things.
There's a shortage of houses.
We've had I think it was 40,000 net migration in 1 month alone.
I think in the last 2 years since we reopened after COVID, just Sydney alone, I think has probably had 500,000.
Oh yeah. In the last
some left.
I think 24 months
going up the coast and down the coast, and
it's been almost $1 million net million people net migration in about 18 months net. So that's people have gone, people have come. We've increased by 1 million.
See, people. Back in the day, about a year ago, when it was just massive cowboy industry, they were getting rid of people that were in the properties by giving them notice and then relisting the apartment at much higher than the 20%. I think it was 20%. If whatever the percent was, regardless of what it was, if they wanted to increase it more than that,
they kick the tenant out and get a.
But that's part of the new regulation, which I thought was a good idea from the tenant's perspective. But if you're the landlord, then that's sometimes not good. If you
it's an investment. That's the whole,
if they're paying it,
the whole idea is if you can't afford it, then sell.
Because you can't get rid of people anymore and then jack up the price.
If you can't pay your rent here, if you can't run your business and pay your staff, what's the expectation?
Yeah. However, to get around it, you could kick out the tenant, say you're going to move in, or you're knocking it down, or renovating, or doing something. And then,
but I'm the kind of tenant that if that happens to me, I will go back and make sure that
they'll be watching to make sure you don't release it. Even
and if they're done, I'm going to report it, because
I would never do that.
Well, I've got too much time on my hands.
Yeah, since you became a lawyer, you're like,
no, but do you know what I mean? Like we can't have this class split where the people up the top believe that the rules don't apply to them.
But it doesn't. If you consciously renovate it for 3 months, leave it untenanted for 3 months, act as if you wanted to go in there. You had an argument with your wife.
If you go through the pain and suffer the loss, I'm happy for
after 6 months,
because that rent increase you're going to do is going to break. You're going to break even because it's been untenanted for 3 months.
Exactly. Yeah.
So in that case, I'm happy for you to do it.
Yeah, and you probably did have big issues with the tenant, which I get that, but you got to pull the emotion out mostly. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry. 2025, we're going to discuss property. We'll discuss
property. I want to talk about Australian commodities, immigration, the Israel-Iran issue, hopefully before Trump's inauguration.
Before the 20th.
Because fingers crossed that doesn't escalate into a massive world war. We don't want that. But yeah, I just wanted to wrap up on saying we just had Christmas. Tell us a bit about your Christmas time. How it was. I'm gonna go.
I do apologize.
No problem.
I do have.
Let's wrap it up.
Look, Christmas was good.
Just quickly in 30 seconds, tell me how Christmas was, what you're looking forward to New Year's, and why next year is going to be a great year for you and the viewers.
Christmas was really good. Spent time with family. Had a lot to eat. Food coma, sneaky few drinks at the end of the night with the lads, which is always good. In the new year, as we discussed on our walk, health and wealth. That's the primary focus, to grow my business, help my clients, help more people who are not just yet my clients with their legal matters, and just focus on healthy living, healthy lifestyle, diet, exercise, mental well-being.
Yeah,
and I think that's going to be the focus for 2025. What about yourself?
Very similar to that, just adding a big emphasis, new layer on family, you know, having a new young family. That's my focus, is on that, and balancing that with health and wealth. Like you, very similar to you. We're on a similar trajectory. Hopefully we kick ass in the first 30 days of the new year and just be on the right trajectory.
Well, you're going to be a father in the first 30 days of the new year.
Yeah, within the first 2 to 3 weeks. So, exciting times ahead. And you get that feeling of love that you want to look after something and provide for your family, that just things become more serious and tunnel vision. So we're on our way up. We're going to kick ass. And as the year goes on, we're going to do more podcasts. We're going to take this seriously, publish it, and grow and get your feedback and make this channel blow up. Yeah, boy.
Great. Let's do this. Happy New Year.
Hey, that was good. Sorry, man. I know you're in a hurry.
No, it's
that was awesome. I might be able to even upload that.
I'm quite late.